Mrs. Lincoln returned to Washington in November, and again duty called me to the White House. The war was now in progress, and every day brought stirring news from the front where the gray opposed the blue, where flashed the bright saber in the sunshine, where were heard the angry notes of battle, the deep roar of cannon, and the fearful rattle of musketry, where new graves were being made every day, where brother forgot a mother's early blessing and sought the life-blood of brother, and friend raised the deadly knife against friend. Oh, the front with its stirring battle scenes! Oh, the front with its ghastly heaps of dead! The life of the nation was at stake, and when the land was full of sorrow, there could not be much gaiety at the Capitol. The days passed quietly for me. I soon learned that some people had an intense desire to penetrate the inner circle of the White House. No president and his family, heretofore occupying this mansion, ever excited so much curiosity as the present incumbents. Mr. Lincoln had grown up in the wilds of the West, and evil report had said much of him and his wife. The polite world was shocked, and the tendency to exaggerate intensified curiosity. As soon as it was known that I was the modiste of Mrs. Lincoln, parties crowded around and affected friendship for me, hoping to induce me to betray the secrets of the domestic circle. One day, a woman, I will not call her a lady, drove up to my rooms, gave me an order to make a dress, and insisted on partly paying me in advance. She called on me every day, was exceedingly kind. When she came to take her dress away, she cautiously remarked, "Mrs. Keckley, you know Mrs. Lincoln?" "Yes." "You are her modiste, are you not?" "Yes." "You know her very well, do you not?" "I am with her every day or two." "Don't you think you would have some influence with her?" "I cannot say. Mrs. Lincoln, I presume, would listen to anything I should suggest, but whether she would be influenced by a suggestion of mine is another question." "I'm sure that you could influence her, Mrs. Keckley. Now listen, I have a proposition to make. I have a great desire to become an inmate of the White House. I have heard so much of Mr. Lincoln's goodness that I should like to be near him, and if I can enter the White House no other way, I am willing to go as a menial. My dear Mrs. Keckley, will you not recommend me to Mrs. Lincoln as a friend of yours, out of employment, and ask her to take me as a chambermaid? If you would do this, you shall be well rewarded. It may be worth several $1,000s to you in time." I looked at the woman in amazement. A bribe, and to betray the confidence of my employer. Turning to her with a glance of scorn, I said, "Madam, you are mistaken in regard to my character. Sooner than betray the trust of a friend, I would throw myself into the Potomac River. I am not so base as that. Pardon me, but there is the door, and I trust that you will never enter my room again," murmuring, "Very well, you will live to regret your action today." "Never, never!" I exclaimed, and closed the door after her with a bang. I afterwards learned that this woman was an actress, and that her object was to enter the White House as a servant, learn its secrets, and then publish a scandal to the world. I do not give her name, for such publicity would wound the sensitive feelings of friends who would have to share her disgrace without being responsible for her faults. I simply record the incident to show how I often was approached by unprincipled parties. It is unnecessary to say that I indignantly refused every bribe offered. The first public appearance of Mrs. Lincoln that winter was at the reception on New Year's Day.